Sir.
Ako, sir.
Sige. Si David. Kailan ha? Si Jeffrey, no? Jeffrey. Kailang.
Ako po, sir.
Lang. Si Jeffrey, si John Rafael, si Wilbert, o si Jerome. Nganong karon pa man nakasuod? Late mo na enroll?
Ano ba yung naman nakuha mong kuhan ko siya? Mga tagaan.
Karon pa mo na-add? Na-add?
Oo, sir.
Sige. How was your catch up? Like, kumusta ang inyong assignment 1, assignment 2? Nakasubay ra mo? So, ang assignment 1,
Ngayon may katorang sa 2, sir. Ang 1, wala pa.
recording ato, mo to'y basihan nyo sa recording, onya, ang last slide ato, mo to'y inyong assignment. Ang second assignment ninyo is from asynchronous, no? Na ako'y gihatag nga module, that is our module 1, and ang assignment to mo to ang evaluation, no? Sige, no? So, paki-note lang sa mga na late og submit nga late mo naka-attend, no? Para di ta mo mamainusan, no? Anyways, I just recorded your recorded your names man para bantayan ako kung isa tong late nag-submit, no?
Sir, excuse me.
Okay, no? So, just to balikon lang ako ang rules nato, no? Na discuss last meeting, no? So, ang atong synchronous class like we did today is every Martes lang og Huwebes, okay? So, but it doesn't mean nga dili ta magklase in between, no? Kay na ako'y panghatag ninyo nga mga module, no? Which nasa na siya yung mga deadline, no? So, I cannot tell kung kanus ang deadline once mahatag na ko ang module because it depends on the topic covered. Palihog lang sa paki-silent please, no? Para magdungog ta. Sige, no? Paki-mute, no? Okay, so kung kinsa to na yung mga questions, just raise your hand or open your video, no? Para ma-recognize. Okay? Sige, no? So, ang dili kay ko particular sa dili kay ko particular sa inyuhang kanang attendance in asynchronous class, but make sure nga kanang naamoy maka-catch up mo ug makasubmit mo sa tanang requirements, no? Kay tanan na tong topic nga gi-discuss na gina siya evaluation through an assignment, and ang assignment mauna ang gibasihan nako pag-compute sa inyong grado, no? So wala tay quiz, no? Puro assignment lang gyud ta, no? Ang atong periodical exam still in effect, midterm, final, no? Pero every topic na ako'y mga gipanghatag na assignment, no? So may kalainan sa quiz ug assignment, di ba? Ang assignment taas og dead time, ang quiz once nga mag-quiz ta, dayon after a certain time, let's say within the day, for example, or within our class period, isubmit na siya, which is dili kayo dili applicable sa tua, no? Tugod kay online ta, no? So kana, okay? So katong mga na late, no? Whatever your reasons nga na late mo, please catch up, no? Dili rason nga mangayo mo pabor. Ang pabor nga ako mahatag ninyo is to extend the deadline of that assignments, no? So please catch up, no? Kay basin maabot ang punto nga mapuno na mo sa assignment, nya wala niya mo time maka-submit ana, which is that is at whatever reason di sana siya acceptable, no? Okay, I hope klaro ko. Dunay questions, clarifications, kinsa man nag-isa kamot? Si Jeffrey. Ikaw ni Jeffrey? Kinsa pa?
Ganina na, sir. Katong nakutan na ka, sir.
Sige, okay. So, wala na questions, clarifications? So tanan na tong synchronous class like what we did today is recorded, no? So i-post na ko na sa tuang channel after our class or the afternoon. Okay? So sige no. I'll interview to student, late student, no? As what we did last meeting, no? While waiting for others, no? Si ako pangutanon si Maricel. Maricel, nganong na late man ka o kuan?
Parang, sir, kanang nagdakop signal diri sa mo kaya ang wifi.
Okay. First year?
Sir, first year, sir. Pili
First
mo
year.
na, sir?
Di ako sa'y mangutana, ulahi ka. Sige, nganong
Ah,
unsay course gani, Maricel?
base IT,
From where?
kuan,
Landawi or
konti.
okay, nganong base IT man mong gikuha nga course?
Kuan ka lang, mo man akong bango ako ang goals ba na ganahan kong makasod do trabaho o ganahan kong na makatunan sa bayan computer.
Okay, sige. So mao na imong rason nganong base IT imong gikuha ang kurso, no? Pero before ka
Yes, sir.
nikuha ning kurso na ka idea unsay mga field sa base
Yes,
IT
sir.
pohon once makagraduate ka? Like
Yes,
unsa man for example?
yes. Kuan ka ng kuan maka dali ra ta makakuan ka sa mga pag-ayo dayon
Okay.
mo operate sa mga computer na.
Sige. So you aware no nga base IT is more on kuano, more on not clerical but more on practical and
Dagan
working sa
makatunan.
okay, sige no.
Yes.
Sige. So
Ang kay pangutana, sir.
unsay pangutana?
Kuan, sir, baka lang na naka-attach ko sa message nga sa private sa akong assignment din.
Hmm.
Okay ato, sir.
Ang tanan natong assignment
Sige,
ha,
sir.
dili ko modawat og chat nga submission. Natay assignment tab adto
Kami
ninyo
attach
na
din.
i-attach no sa assignment tab no. So sige lang kato mga late basig wa mo kadawat akong i-resend ang assignment 1 ug assignment 2 akong i-reassign no for those nga na late kay basig mao siguro wala mo kadawat. Okay? After our class no. So remind lang nga tanang assignment, tanang submission is kung asa na siya like mostly akong gibuhat
Kami
sa assignment
ko
tab.
na attach, sir.
Assignment tab ginaay ninyo i-message class kay ngano sa kadaghan yung nakong giklasihan ug kamo pa pila mo kabuk 50 ka
Mhm.
buok dili na nako na matog basa. Mag-check ko sa inyong papel dito sa assignment tab para makahatag ko og grado ora mismo og feedback sa inyohang mga gipang trabaho. Okay? I hope klaro na no. So okay no. So don't worry Kwan. Don't worry Maricel no. Akong i-reassign balik ang assignment
Yes,
kay
sir.
basig wala ka mo kadawat tungod kay late mo. So sa katong mga present today, don't worry kung akong i-reassign no. There's nothing changed but for the benefit of those late. Okay? Okay, sunod tawag tag ko sa kalalaki no. Si John Errol Kamaring. John, can you open your video? Kung pwede, pero kung lisod yun ang signal, okay rag dili. Na si John. Okay, we will proceed to Wilbert. Wilbert Garzula Jr.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Taga-asa man si Wilbert?
I'm from Mandawi, sir, Kamanggalan.
Okay, first year, no?
Yes, sir. First year, BS IT
Mm,
Comtech.
BSIT Comtech.
Ah,
Nganong
need
BSIT
also,
Comtech may gikuha?
it's because, sir, I want to improve more skills about the technology that
Mhm.
nahabis na ako, sir, ba, ang pag-work ko sa mga parts sa mga computer uban.
Okay.
Although, to, may akong mga na-about, but I want to learn more about kanang mga sa sa mga technology, how to create and brand and document around sa something else na mo learn.
Okay. Thank you, Wilbert, no? I appreciate Wilbert and Maricel, no, for the sharing, no?
Then, sir,
Mm,
anong paano, ako kanang napasa kung tong SOT sa ano sa third tong 1 to 1 sir tong may total post tapos tong ubos kay tong notification nakapas ko ato na third
Sige.
interview atong pinakauna wala ko
Sige, ako
ang
i-resign lagi
pinaka
basi wala mo nakadawat kay late mo. Regarding sa naapay wala ka submit no, so dili pa nako to ma-show ang solution. Anyway, kung dili na gid ako mapas is I'll just send the answer sheets once na completed na og submit ang tanan, i-share nako sa atong channel through file section of the channel no. Kana lang no. So again no, thank you for the sharers today.
yeah, thank you sir.
Okay, no? So, I hope, no, ang inyong mga expectation, makatabang ko to our subject, no, electricity and basic electricity and electronics, no? Because this is one of the foundation for Comtech, no? So, if you notice, this is 5 units composed of lecture lab. Unfortunately, we cannot accommodate laboratory, but I hope, no, I can show some simulations in the future, no? So, okay, no. So much for the introduction. It's already 8:35, and we will proceed to our discussion proper for the topic today. Okay. So I'll open my slide. Okay, for a while.
Sir, pwede mga tanong.
Oh, say pangutana. Kitsa naman yung nangutana na po. Kitsa may nangutana.
Sir, kanang sa ako ang nasubmit sa basic electrical quantity sir ba? Nakatasa ko mo sa September sir.
Okay. Kitsa man yung
Hindi
nangutana.
literally o feedback sa
Okay,
ko ang revised answer
tingog ba? Unsa gyud
to
mo nangutana?
or result
Ah,
1. Nakaset mo sa assignment number 2 basic electrical quantities.
mm.
Dayon sa naini feedback sa ko ang revised answer part 1. Anto, dayon
Okay.
ako to ning balik kay nakapas ko nimong pag September 17.
Sige. Wala pa actually wala pa gid ako na chikan class ha kanang assignment number
Aw,
2. Hopefully
okay, sir.
ma-check. Di pa ko kakuha no based makita ninyo yung score siguro tomorrow no. Medyo na busy lang. Daghan kay mo 50 ka pin sa sintam siguro mo niya. Usa-usahan ako nag-check tanan. Okay no. So give me time today and tomorrow no to check your papers no. Okay no.
Okay, sir. Salamat
So
sir.
don't worry no, I'll give feedback to kuan. What makes you wrong or if you're correct, I'll acknowledge if you get it correct, no? Okay, no? Sige, no? So, kita na akong slide, class?
Makita sir.
Sige. Paspasan na to ni taas kaya itong discussion
Yeah,
today, no?
sir.
I hope makahumanta 9:30 or 10, no? Kay after this topic, naasad mo ilang assignment. This is assignment number 3, no? So, our topic for today is actually the kuan na ni mo na ni ang core topics under electronics and electricity no electricity electronics no this is introduction to circuits and Ohm's law no so kinsa may naka-familiar og Ohm's law nanay nakasugat ani before pwede kinsa may mo kuan kinsa may mo volunteer na nakasugat na mo ani sa nakasugat na mo ani during senior high school.
Wala na ba sir?
Sige.
Wadad
Sige no.
sir.
So, sige no. Okay no. So, we'll proceed no. Ohm's law, actually, there are three components in Ohm's law no. This is voltage, current, and resistance no. So, akong i-discuss ninyo kung unsa ning tulo ka component sa Ohm's law, no? Okay? So first is voltage, no? So unsa man ning voltahe, no? Voltage, no? So anybody is familiar voltage? Unsa man inyong pagkasabot aning term nga voltage or volts? Na mo volunteer? Okay, si Jetro. Jetro, ikaw ni nag-raise your hands. Raise hands.
Yes. Yes.
Sige. Sige, Jetro. Unsa may imong understanding aning voltage, no? Don't worry, class, no? Expecta nga medyo kuanta because we are learners, no? Basig nakasugat na mo. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer, no? Okay?
Ang pagsabot ng current sa kurente.
Okay, no? So, thanks for the share, Jetro, no? Anybody? Anybody, no? Okay,
Ang
no? So,
voltage,
si Mary.
Sa current, sir, yung flow sa current,
Dili, voltage akong ipangutana dahil. Voltage.
ay,
Sa imo understanding sa voltage.
pressure sa current. Dili.
Unsa? Sige, no? Actually, current is another quantity
Ah,
or units, no? So, okay, no? So, doon ay nag-isa, no? But, we only accommodate to sharer for its topic, no? Para ma-maximize tong oras, no? I'll call you for other topics.
ay, sir, electricity din, sir.
Dili,
Pressure sa
electricity.
electricity.
Okay,
Dili
so
siya, pressure sa electricity.
okay, no? So, thanks for that, no? But the definition of voltage in SI, no,
ito
is
mag-natimaso.
okay, no? 1 volt, okay, 1 volt is equal to joule over coulomb, no? So, unsa man ning joule? This is unit of unsa man ning joule and coulomb. Coulomb is a unit of charge, okay? And joule is, any idea what is joule?
Power.
Joule is the unit of any volunteer? Unsa ni nga joule? Naman is high school nato, di ba? Joule is a unit of energy, di ba? So, kauban ni siya sa calorie. Unsa pa tong unit sa energy? Or, di ba? Naka-remember mo? Joule is a unit of energy. So, meaning joule over coulomb is actually equal to volt, no? So, it is represented by big letter V, no? The volt is named after the Italian physicist Alessandro Volta who invented the chemical battery, no? Si Volta mo ay nag-invent sa battery and eventually naka-discover og volt, no? So we will not investigate how Mr. Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist, discover the volt through chemical battery because that's another topic, no? So our concern is on volt, okay? So the volt means 1 coulomb of charge will gain 1 joule of potential energy when it's moved between two locations of electric potential difference is 1 volt. No? So for example, do na tayo 12 volts between two location, 1 coulomb of charge will gain 12 joules of potential energy. No? So do not mind on the definitions class because it's not on it's not more on we will not emphasize more on the definition, no, because I want you to train more on mathematical computation because that is the most important in basic circuits and Ohm's law. Okay, no, so don't worry, no? You may not copy, no, because I'll share this in our channel after our discussion. So so For example, no, a 1.5 volt battery has a potential of 1 coulomb of charge, no, to gain 1.5 joules, no, from this definition. Okay, and the next unit we're going to discuss. Okay, before on that is we have we have two types of voltage, no. So the AC voltage, no. So something AC, no. So kaning AC voltage is these are produced by generators, no. For example, kaning atuang sa Veco, Meco, Sebeco, that is AC voltage. And the other one, the DC voltage is kanang naa sa atong mga batteries, no? Like battery sa ato ang relo, battery sa ato ang wall clock, battery sa sakyanan. So anything that is stored is DC voltage. Ang ang voltahe nga gisupply sa atong utility company like Meco, Beco, that is AC, no? So ang meaning anang AC class is alternating. Ang DC is direct, no? Kung atong tan-awon, kung it happens pa lang na natay laboratory through an oscilloscope, so mo na ito makita sa AC, no? Sinusoidal siya. Okay, pulsating. While sa DC is direct siya, no? So if so happens lang na natin laboratory, actually we can check this in an oscilloscope, no? Ma-appreciate nato siya. Okay? So be it, no? We will more on theory. Okay? And that second concepts that I'm going to discuss kuan no, for the topic is so mo ni kaniya class, no, katong ako ang gi-present, no. So ang DC for a while lang. Ang DC voltage travels in a straight direction, no? Commonly produced by stored energy katong mga batteries. Okay, so sunod nga concept is current, no. So kaniha dunay nag kuano na present na current daw is a flow of charge, no? Which is that's correct, no. Actually, by definition, current is a flow of electrical charge carriers, no, usually electron, no, or electron deficient atoms. So question, ngano gani ang electron may move freely, not the proton, as a representation of charge? Okay, ngano gani? Di ba sa module 1 naaman ni charge? Nakabasa mo ato? Any volunteer? The question is, ngano ang electron maoy mostly nag-carry sa charge, dili ang proton. Chemistry, physics, charge, katong concepts nga once nga mulos ang iyang electron, mahimo siyang positively charged or negatively charged. Wala na mo ka-remember? Wala na, class? Wala na, no? So, sige, no? If you happens to read in our module 1, naani siya, no? So, I expect manggod nga nagbasa mo ani. That's why I'm asking this to you, no? So, sige lang, sa katong wala pa nakabasa, please basa mo. And you will find out why in a definition of a current, okay, in the electrical charge, usually electron ang deficient atoms, and then meaning the electron in an atom, okay, loses meaning loses its number, and it causes to move, no, which is the flow of current. Okay, so I have one questions on that module also, no? What is the unit of current, no? So in a form of true or false, right? If you remember. And then ang question is, I think question number 1, ang akong ibutang dito, true or false? The unit of currents is joule per second. And most of you answer 8, false, no? So, sa katong mga wala pa naka-answer, please revisit, no? So, I'm not saying it's true or it's correct or not, but please revisit, no? Okay? So, the common symbol of current is big letter I, no? The standard units is ampere, no? Symbolized as A, no? So, makakita mo A after a number that symbolize current. For example, 2A, that means 2 amperes, no? So the upper letter I is the symbol of current, no? So later in our mathematical manipulations, I'll introduce you a formula which has this letter, no? So unya, no? Okay. So we'll finish the concept, and after this I'll show example. Please kuan lang, please be attentive kay need ni nga example to solve your assignment number 3. Okay? So, by definition, 1 ampere of current, so meaning represents, no, 1 coulomb of electrical charge. Okay, that is equivalent to 6.24 times 10 to the 18th charge of carriers moving past a specific point in 1 second. No? So, that's the definition of current. No? So, physicists considered current to flow from relatively positive points to relatively negative points. No? This is what we call the conventional current, no, or the Franklin current, no. But electrons in the most common charge carriers are negatively charged, no. So in 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 real, the movement of current is from negative to positive, no, terminal, no. But do na tay tinatawag og conventional current flow, no, or what we call Franklin current, no. This is very important in analyzing circuits class, no. So the loop later, no, the mesh, we will discuss it in a separate and advanced topic, no. So please take note on this, no. This conventional current or the current or the Franklin current, no, because kung masayop ta, so it will affect our answer, no. Okay. So anyway, on most of my assignments, I'll emphasize man the flow of current. No? So careful lang. Okay, no. So we've already discussed the two concepts of Ohm's law, no, the voltage and the current, and the last one is what we call Ohms, no? Ohms, no. That is OHM, no? Abbreviated by a Greek letter. Okay. Unsa ganin nga Greek letter class? Omega, di ba? Tama ba? So, the unit of electrical resistance in a meter kilogram second system is honor of kanang German physicist George Simon Ohm. Siya ang naka-discover sa ohms. Okay? So, this is the third and last components of Ohm's law. No? So, unsa man 1 ohm? 1 ohm is in a circuit, no? Is 1 ohm is equal to 1 V over A. No? Remember, V, letter V is the representation of voltage, and A is the representation of current or ampere. No? So 1 over V over A, or 1 VA, no? VA is actually equal to 1 ohm. Okay. So the resistance in which 1 watt of power is dissipated when 1 ampere flows to it. No? This is the definition of 1 VA, V over A. Okay, 1 V over A is actually the resistance in which 1 watt of power is dissipated when 1 ampere flows to it. No? Okay, no? So that's the three concepts, no, of Ohm's law, no? The voltage, currents, and ohms. Okay, so Ohm's law states that the resistance equal to the ratio of potential difference to the current, no, of the ohms, both ampere, the respective definitions. So meaning this is the definition of law, no? The resistance equals, okay, okay. Hello class, madunggan pa ko ninyo.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
V
Sir,
over I.
dahang akong kuha, sir. Ang slide kay wala ni move sa kuha.
Sige, kato siguro ng mga kuha, no? Mga hinay og signal. How about the others? Nag-move
Ako,
ra?
Okay, okay.
Okay ra, no? Sige, no?
Okay.
Kinsa may
full
wala
time
nag-move?
na, sir.
Ni-stop ko sa voltage, sir.
Ha?
Na-stop sa voltage ang imong slide.
Naunsa?
Ako ang slide is ang mga slide diri ko kay tubra ko sa voltage.
Don't worry, no? Because this is kuan man. This is kuan man siya, no? This is uh, kuan man ni later ako maning i-share, no? I-share na ako ning, no? Mabasa rin yung balik, no? So
Thank you, sir.
opening kuan, no? A whiteboard, no? Features in an MS Teams, no? So para masabtan na to, no? So we will proceed to kuan mathematical explanation on the relationships of those three, no? So okay, no? So I'm presenting a whiteboard. I hope nakakita ang tanan. Kita ba, no? So unsa ito yung definition sa kuan? Sa Ohm's law, no? Okay. Okay, so Ohms. Okay, so sorry class, medyo mati makaya kuan. Okay. Ohm's law, no? Okay, so Ohm's law by definition class is kanang R. Okay, this is the resistance. The unit is ohms over P over I, no? Okay. Ang unit aning B is volts, while the unit of I, which is a current, is ampere, no? Okay, ampere, that's ampere, no? So, for example, no? Let's say, we will check on the relationship, no? So, I can also write I, okay? I is equal to, okay, is equal to
Okay, sir.
B
Wala
over
ko
R, di ba?
dito sa whiteboard, sir.
Okay, so this is just a simple
Ano?
algebra, simple algebra, no? So the this is a simple algebra, no? So don't worry, no? So para masabdan gid ninyo, no? Let's say we have water pipe, no? So water pipe, no? Mag-drawing ko water pipe, no? So let's say tubig ni siya. Sample, tubig ni siya, okay? Okay, so gikan sa dako nagkagamay, no? Ang pipe, no?
Excuse me, sir. Kasi wala may nakita sa screen, sir. Karo nga kuwan.
Kinsa may wala nakakita o kinsa nakakita, please.
Sir, wala. Oh, sir.
May makita, sir. Makita, sir.
White,
Wala,
sir.
sir. Makita sa whiteboard.
Wala nakita.
OH.
Okay, sir.
OH. Sir.
Kinsa nakakita?
Wala, sir. Wala. Sir.
Wala, hindi. Makita sa water.
Wala,
Okay,
sir.
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 Kinsa may
Wala,
nakakita?
mga,
Wala nakakita.
wala, sir.
OH na, sir. Ako makita.
White ra.
Wala, sir. Pwede tayo, sir. Pero, i-continue.
Whiteboard na, sir. Wala yung wala. Sa drawing.
Pero kinsa may nakakita? Kinsa may nakakita?
Ato sa na kuan H.
Pwede mo chat ang na nakita.
OH.
Sir. Oh,
Wala gyud nakakita, no? Sige. Katong na nakita, I'm asking kung kinsay nakakita, please chat lang, no? Please mute na lang siguro para dili kayo dili kayo ta obstructed, no? So I'm looking at kung kinsay nakakita. So nay nakita o way nakita. Palihog ko chat sa meeting chat. So naara no, ang uban naara no, basig signal lang yun siguro no. So don't worry class no. Anyway, we will we will record this class and then eventually ako man siyang i-post sa channel no. So let's see no, I'll be discussing no para masabtan gid ninyo ang kuan ba, ang Ohm's law is. For example natay tangke sa tubig no. Tubos tubig no. Sudlan na to siya tubig, okay? So puno na siya tubig glass and uh, uh, remember no, water is potential energy no. So potential energy once there's a flow no, uh, that energy is transformed to another form energy which is what we call, if you remember on physics no, kinetic energy no. So this flow, this water is what we call, I'm not saying that this is this is equivalent to voltage no, but somehow by analogy kana bitong yung term na tawag nila by analogy may represent our voltage no, while the flow is a representation of current no. So okay, and the difference of volume, if you look at on my presentation, of course no, you agree with me in this area where the volume is greater, the flow is in terms of discharge volume no, so medyo dako ang flow no, hantod magkagamay siya no, that actually represents in analogy no, by analogous by by analogy no, the resistance no. So resistance may represent the constraint on that pipe no. So the water may represent the voltage, the flow for the current, and then the restriction on the difference of pipe size may represent our resistance no. So ingon ana class ang kanang relationship between ohms, voltage, and current with respects to Ohm's law, no? So, inana siya, no? But I'm not saying na this is equal to what I presented because what I'm trying to say is for you to understand ba sa paagi bitaw nga kanang sa term analogous in Bisaya, no? So, inana siya. Okay, no? So, uh, remember that I, okay, which is equal to ampere, no, can be also written to joule per second, no, and R is actually the ratio, no, of voltage, which is the unit is volts, and current, no, which is the unit is ampere. While our voltage, while voltage is the unit is volts, no, but this can be also written as coulombs per second, no. Okay, no? So we will not use the coulombs per second for voltage and joules per second for current, but instead we will use ampere and volts. Okay, so the next example is we're going to construct a simple circuit, no? So for you to understand kanang thoroughly, no? So I'll erase the other part, okay? Okay, so for example, no, na ako'y circuit, no. So uh, na ako'y battery, no. This is a representation of battery. This is the negative and this is the positive, no. So tanan naman siguro familiar of battery, no. And then I'll be having here, okay. So magbutang kog switch class, no. Switch ni siya, switch. This is a switch, no. And then for example, no, na ako'y suga baron, no. LED, no. LED nga suga. Okay. So this is our load, no, in a form LED, no. Lead, no. So note that the flow of current, the Franklin current is from negative to positive, no. So mo na atong gigamit nga kuan, no, nga convention, no. So and this is our switch. Okay. Switch, okay. How's the kuan? How's the presentation? Ay nakakita? Wala gyapon may nakita.
Wala, sir.
Wala dyan, sir.
Loading for content, sir.
Sige, no.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
worry, no. Hang on lang. And
Wala.
Yes, sir.
anyway, this is a
Yes,
coordination,
sir.
no. So, uh, in this presentation, no. So we have a battery, no. So tanan is familiar battery, no. So let's say our battery is, let's say for the purpose of easy computation, let's say this is 16 volts. Okay, and our LED is, for example, 8 ohms. LED, for example, our load, no. So remember, class, in a circuit there are three components, no. We have the source, the voltage source or the power source. We have the path. The path may be a wire, no, or any conductive material, and the third is load, no. So if we're going to examine in our circuit, simple circuit is we have the voltage source 16 volts. We have the load, which is 8 ohms in a form of a LED light, and we have the path in a form of a wire. So in this presentation, we will assume that our wire is a perfect conductor, meaning there's no resistance along the wire. Okay, for easy presentation. No? So if I'm going to compute the I total, okay, the I total, imagine, no? So from the concepts we've discussed, I equals to V over R, right? So so meaning based on this presentation, our V is 16 volts, okay? 16 volts. Our R is 8 ohms, okay? So 8 ohms. Okay, sorry, I'll erase 8 ohms. 8 ohms, okay? 8 ohms. So, I'm sorry, medyo inverted siya. That's 8 ohms, and 16 over 8 is actually equal to 2 amperes, no? So, what is the implication? Okay? So, the implication is the total current in the circuit is actually 2 amperes. Okay? 2 amperes. Okay? So, 2 amperes. Medyo pasensya na, class. Medyo lisod kayo mag-present, no, sa using a mouse, no, to write an equation. I hope, no, medyo klaro gamay, no. Anyway, this is backed up by kuan man, by narrative, no. Okay, no. So that's it, no. So for the Ohm's law and basic circuit, no? So it's already 9, no? So I promise you class na I'll not take long on the discussions because of some issues, no, like your internet, no? So you have also other classes. Okay, no? So in our assignment, I'll present the assignment again back in our assignment. Saan naman to? In our assignment, okay? So in our assignment, okay, muna yung assignment number 3, no? So this is somehow similar to what we've discussed in the example, no? But kanino class, no? I'll discuss, no? So there are three components of the circuit, no? We have a source, no? At 1.5 voltage. We have a path, no? This is our path, the line, and the last component of a circuit is we have a load, no? At this time there are two loads, no? The 2 ohms and 1 ohms, no? So just this was just add on that, no? I just give you two load, no, to make it somehow complex, no, but it's not complex, no. It's you just add on that, no. So mao ni ang inyong assignment number 3, no. So makita ra ba ninyo class at ang akong i-present your assignment number 3 under basic circuit?
Ano sir, nakita?
Ah,
Nakita.
Nakita ninyo?
sir.
Oo, sir. Ako
Pero
lang na
kamo
wala.
kaniha wa ninyo nakita, no?
Ano
Wala,
sir?
sir.
Oo, share lang nakita
Yes,
sir.
sir.